From 20,000 miles above Earth, everything looks fine. But already this year, over 2,300 trucking companies have shut their doors. The 2025 Trump tariffs are shaking the foundation of American trucking.
You ever have one of those weeks where you just feel like the whole market turned its back on you? Like everything in trucking you built just collapsed? That was me not too long ago. I was watching the load board for hours, waiting for something half decent to pop up. Rates were trash. Loads were few and far between. Everything I used to count on had either vanished, like this company, or been underbid to the floor, which causes things like this to just plummet and go bankrupt. But I ain't the only one. Truckers everywhere, especially dry van, reefer, flatbed, and ag haulers like me are starting to feel the effects of the 2025 Trump tariffs. It's getting real out here. Ports are slowing down, businesses are closing, imports are dropping, and freight is shifting in ways that a lot of people didn't expect. But here's the thing, while most folks are screaming about how bad things are right now, and yeah, they are bad, I've been doing some digging. And what I found surprised me, because while these tariffs are hurting us right now, they might actually end up helping the trucking industry long term. Let me explain. A few years back, I had a solid gig hauling dry van freight, just like these guys did, for a manufacturer that made parts for GM. It was a dedicated local lane, consistent money, light loads, and easy miles. I landed it when rates were great. And even as the market started bleeding, this customer kept me rolling. But about a year into the downturn, things started changing. They began dropping my rate little by little, month after month, until one day I got the call. They told me flat out, "You're too expensive. Others are hauling cheaper. We have to let you go, dude." And just like that, I was done. No warning, no transition, just gone. I sat for weeks with no work. Had to go home to my wife and tell her that our consistent income is no more. Watching the spot market get worse and worse and worse. But eventually, I did pick up a dedicated lane for a local farmer. It wasn't as good as that GM freight, but it kept the wheels turning. Then, bam, it happened again. Another call, same gut punch, only this time, it wasn't about rates. The farmer told me he was shutting down. He couldn't afford to keep bleeding money. Said the operation just wasn't sustainable anymore. 2 reliable lanes gone, back to back. That'll shake your faith in this game. Just like these guys, they're hurting right now. Tons of families out of business, out of work, no money, probably lost their retirement fund, who knows? It's just sad. And it's not just me. In March, Equity Transportation, a Michigan-based company that had been around for decades, they just shut down completely, ceased operations. That's where I'm at right now, and it looks like a ghost town. Then, recently, LTI Trucking Services, a major refrigerated carrier, also closed the doors. That one hit hard because LTI was solid. Over 350 trucks, hundreds of drivers, a good reputation, and just gone, vanished. These aren't just bad luck stories. These are signs. So what's actually happening right now? Let's break it down by sector. Dry van, spot rates are still hovering dangerously low, around $1.55 per mile in many lanes. Imported goods are drying up, so general freight is shrinking hard. Tariffs are cutting deep into container volume, especially at West Coast ports. Reefer, produce season hasn't saved us. In fact, reefer rates have dipped below $2 a mile in regions that used to hit $2.75 plus this time of year. Demand from grocery retailers is soft, and reefer freight from overseas has taken a big hit due to port delays. Flatbed construction freight is down. Lumber and steel shipments are lighter than expected. Texas, the Southeast, the Midwest have seen noticeable slowdowns, and flatbed loads are sitting longer on the board. Ag haulers like me, this one hurts. Exports of US dairy, grain, and meat products are way down because countries like China are either retaliating with tariffs of their own or sourcing from other countries. If you're hauling ag in the Midwest or Plains, you already know the rates just don't add up right now. In the ports, especially LA, Long Beach, Savannah, Houston, they've seen massive drops in volume. One report showed blank sailings up nearly 40% in Q2. That means carriers are skipping US ports entirely because there just isn't enough freight to bring in. That ripples all the way through trucking. Less port freight means less for us to haul inland. Simple as that. Now look, I'm not saying these tariffs are not tough right now. They are. Rates are bad. Freight is slow, and drivers across the board are feeling the pressure. But if you take a step back and look at history, there's actually some reason to be hopeful. Hear me out. Back in the early days of America, tariffs were used to protect US workers. I'm talking way back, like the 1800s. We placed heavy taxes on imported goods so our own manufacturers had a chance to grow. That's how industries like steel and machinery even got off the ground here. And fast forward to the 1980s, cheap foreign steel was flooding the market and crushing US steel plants. So the government stepped in and put limits on imports. It gave our workers some breathing room and saved a lot of jobs. And more recently, in 2018, tariffs were used to put pressure on China. It caused a lot of disruption at the time, but it also started a conversation. What if we brought some of that manufacturing back in the United States? And that's what I think might happen again soon. It's tough right now, but if this leads to more companies building factories here in the States, that means more American freight. Not freight stuck at ports or crossing oceans. I'm talking dry van lanes between cities, reefer freight from US farms, steel, lumber, construction loads, the kind of freight that built the industry from the beginning. So yeah, it's painful right now, but if this plays out like it has in the past, it could mean a stronger future for trucking and a lot more loads staying right here at home. Right now, it feels like we're all holding our breath. Gasping for air, waiting for rates to rebound, waiting for freight to move, waiting for some kind of relief. But history shows us this isn't the first time American truckers have taken a hit. And if we play this right, it might actually be the setup for something better. If you've lost a lane, if you're sitting longer than usual, or if you're just watching your paycheck shrink, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're seeing in your part of the country. Let's talk about it. Let's help each other out because we're all in this together. Gas it up, hammer down, and keep it between the lines, driver. Peace.